Just
I mean,
stroll
yeah.
through, see what's going on.
I'm sure that's what he's going to do too. I don't know what he's going to do, but
I had to get a new TV last night because our 15-year-old TV and it was the one that was at our old house. It's in the base. It's behind me. The one
yeah.
finally died like a couple days before vacation. Like I did everything. I mean, it's 15 years old, right? It was huge. I was like, now they're like paper thin. This thing was super thick. So we go to Target and buy like, a cheap one, just like we didn't buy like a Samsung or anything. It was like whatever brand. I'd never heard of the brand. But I was like, it looks good. They have them on the wall. I was like,
right.
It's good enough for me. I can hardly see anyway. So buy it, get it home. We had to buy an entertainment center because like the old one, it was just sitting on actually a bench, the old one. So now they're so big, like the legs are spread out now.
Yes.
Our old one had a center stand.
Yes, so that's what
like it had like a little thing in the middle. Now all of them have like two legs on the end.
Yes.
So it wouldn't fit on this little bench that we had our old TV on. We had to buy like a little stand to put on that was wide enough.
Yep.
And then of course now this TV doesn't have any speakers hardly, so you had to get like a sound bar. It was so stupid, like it was crazy. But anyway, we get it home. We're trying to put it. You don't have much to put together. We had to put the little entertainment center together, just like two boards and some.
Yeah.
Of course, that took like an hour.
Yes.
Then we go to put the legs on the TV. And somehow the TV was packaged with the wrong legs. We're looking at like there's no way these legs can go in these holes. Like there's no holes.
No,
we're looking at YouTube videos. We're reading the manual and all this. And finally, I'm like, Pam, I'm telling you, there is physically no way these legs go on this. And all the videos had different looking legs. I'm like, everybody's got different one. Like in 2 seconds, turn the thing and they're in. So we had to take it back to Target. It's like, yeah, somebody scammed us. Like they must have took this out of the box, brought it back. Then we had to get another TV. Anyway, that one was cracked on the screen. We didn't even notice that. We were doing the legs. We didn't get turned on.
Oh.
But yeah, last night was crazy. But now I've been watching Alabama football reruns on
there you go.
NBC Network, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's good.
Hey, Dan, what's up? All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'll talk about the trip, but like throw in, like, if you have any questions about what's going on while we're down there, we'll do that.
Okay. I can do that.
Let me get my Instagram so I have some pictures.
That would be good.
Okay,
thanks to you, we are almost at 5,000 people on our Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? 5,000?
Almost, yeah.
I hit 7,000 while I was down there. Dude, I met so many listeners, like all over the place. It was crazy.
That's awesome. You're a lot easier to find though than I am. Like I'm short and small.
And I'm loud.
You're yes, and you're also tall as all get out. So like it's a lot easier to find you down in the parks than it is me.
True. I had this. You're gonna crack up with this story. I'll tell it during the show because I already told it on the Patreon episode, which I put out on yesterday. But it was hilarious. Speaking of that, so
okay.
And also Megan, who went with us, Mallory's friend.
Oh yeah.
So her mom met her at the airport to pick her up. Her mom and her sister. And so on the way home, she, her mom was asking, well, how was it and everything, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, it was like going with a celebrity because people just kept coming up to Mallory's dad and asking him for his picture and talking to him. I was like, you hear that, Pam?
That's too funny. Oh my God. That's hysterical.
Remember, you're married to a celebrity.
Right. Exactly. Not really.
Because that's what Megan said.
Not really.
Right. She's like, yeah, keep it up. She almost punched me.
I would have punched you too. So, no, my hat fell. I gotta redo all this. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, I just go with the Magic Kingdom behind me, and I'm good to go.
Well, I mean, I just keep buying tchotchkes and knickknacks, so I gotta put them up somewhere, right? Otherwise, I have no excuse for buying tchotchkes and knicknacks that I don't need.
Knick-knack, what? Give your dog a bone.
Then Brian will be like, "Why did you buy that?" And I'll be like,
"That's what my wife said. I don't have any of that stuff." Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Okay, here we go.
So I have to have excuses. So these are my excuses.
All right. Shout out everybody in the chat. Dan, Andrea, Jeff, Brenton, Michael, Margie, Dan, again, because he said Bama football. Rob and Susan, what's up? And all the unnamed people that are watching who have not put a comment.
Yes, exactly.
The silent majority. Okay, here we go. I haven't done this in a while. See if I
know. Let's see if we remember how to do this.
I think it's 1933. All right, here we go.
Okay.
This week's going to be all us. Me, you, just us three.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 1933 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you, and so glad to be back from the Sunshine State and from Walt Disney World. My triple resort whammy trip is now in the books, and we're going to talk about that today because Monday's about trip reports. I'm usually on the other side of things, but today I'm going to sit down with your friend and mine, Ricky, and we're going to talk about my trip, 3 resorts, lots of memories, lots of new experiences, and lots of fun. So let's get her in here. We're doing something different, a little breaking the fourth wall again. We're recording on a Saturday, so this one's going to be pretty fresh when it hits your feed on Sunday night. And I'm not used to podcasting on a Saturday evening. So this is very bizarre. So joining us from themouseforless.com, we have Ricky. Ricky, what's up?
Yeah, I know. It is weird to do this on a Saturday out and about with Brian doing, coupley things. And, Mike asked, can you do this today? So I was like, yeah, I can fit you in somewhere.
And I was told that while we're recording here, Brian just decided to go to Walmart just to go to Walmart.
He did.
Nothing to get, just the entertainment value of Walmart on a Sunday or Saturday night, which I agree with. I mean, that can be a thing.
Yeah, I know. I asked him as he was like leaving out the door. I'm like, are you going for anything? He's like, no, just walk around. I said, okay, well, have fun.
I like his style. All right. So before we jump into the trip report, I got to say, when I go down to Walt Disney World, shout out to Kathy, one of our great agents over at the Magic for Less. She covered my guests for me. I can't do this, go on vacation without my colleagues at the Magic for Less. Sometimes it's Jocelyn, sometimes it's Jeanette, sometimes it's Kat. It's a lot of times it's Kathy lately. She does a tremendous job. So shout out Kathy. So if you ever need anything, let me know. I'll hook you up with Kathy if I'm unavailable, but she did a great job. And, so while I'm down there, I get to kind of disconnect. I don't, follow the Disney news as closely. However, this trip I had to do a few things because of the circumstances,
and because people ask you for pictures of things.
You say get a picture of the Plaza ice cream joint. I go in and get an ice cream.
Exactly. I didn't figure you had any problem assisting me in my needs.
Right. So. I'll take that anytime. Go get a picture of the ice cream. Okay, that means I got to get an ice cream. Okay, that'll work.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, but here's the thing. So while I was down there, we got some good news. All the resorts are going to be back open at the end of the year. So I'm so pumped about that. And I'll say since I returned, I start working immediately. Like I was at the gate on Thursday evening to come home, and I pop up the laptop and I start to go through, delete all the, emails from like Buffalo Wild Wings. And,
right, exactly.
Cool, because this summer, all stuff I don't need to get to. I start prioritizing the massively, blitzed inbox. And, I see that all the resorts are back open. I had heard that. I'd, been on Twitter and stuff, but it's an exciting thing to, over the past 48 hours to book reservations at Riverside and Music in a Family Suite and stuff like that. I mean, the whole theme of this show, and this is why I'm saying this theme of this show is we're back. In my opinion, everybody's got their own opinion, but after being at Walt Disney World for 10 days from July 5th to July 15th, we are back at Walt Disney World.
We had that show too, right before you left and everything of when do you think Walt Disney World will be back? And I feel like they've certainly made a lot of strides just since we recorded that show to come back to, being normal again. So I think you're right. I think it's definitely getting a lot closer to being, 100% back, as far as things are concerned. I mean, there's still a few issues, of course, like, no character meet and greets and stuff like that. And restaurants are still a little tight as far as like, letting people in still. I still feel like that's still an issue. But I mean, it's the reality of like a Disney vacation definitely seems more normal than not at this point, I feel like.
And so exactly. I mean, Columbia Harbor House isn't open. There's a few minor things. Character meet and greets are still socially distant, but I mean, I think those things are going to be resolved quickly, I would assume. But I mean, I kept telling this to Scott once he arrived about halfway through my vacation, and we'd have these discussions, and I just kept telling him, man, this feels like 2019. Like we're not wearing masks, we're watching fireworks, we're packed in like sardines.
Oh, yeah. I saw those pictures. You were packed in like sardines. Yeah.
I'll talk about some of the resort stuff and some of the, things we did. But I mean, just kind of right off the bat, the things people are curious about. I saw Epcot Forever 3 times. Saw Happily Ever After twice. So I saw fireworks. I might have seen it 3 times. I can't remember. But I mean, I was excited for fireworks. It's one of those things. I was talking to Pam about this my Pam. And the thing was, you would kind of, and I know you're not a big fireworks person, and I do like an ending to a day with fireworks, but sometimes I'll skip them. Sometimes you end up at Disney Springs. Sometimes you're resort swimming. I don't always do fireworks, but if I'm in a park, I'll watch the fireworks. I'll make a point. But the thing was, it was amazing, and it wasn't just the explosions over the castle, or the fireworks at Epcot over World Showcase Lagoon. What it was the hour before, and people coming out again, and the camaraderie of people getting excited for the 15-minute announcement, the 10-minute announcement. Okay, in a few minutes it's going to happen. I mean, when Tinkerbell flew over the Magic Kingdom on, the first time we were in the Magic Kingdom was on the 7th. I mean, the place went nuts. I mean, it was just like, whoa. And the thing was, like, people always got excited for Tinkerbell. Yeah.
It's already an emotional thing. And then you add the fact that you haven't seen fireworks for, a year. And I mean, the emotions just hit even more when Tinkerbell comes out, I'm sure. Yeah.
It was crazy because the thing is, you have your first timers who are going to be excited no matter when. It could have been, 2012. It doesn't matter. But there are a lot of folks who have been going, a lot, like us, that tend to go, we had the big hiatus. We haven't had fireworks in, over a year. And the thing was, there's indicators in everybody's kind of heart and everybody's brain as to, okay, that's a return. I mean, like, I know that sounds dumb to have Tinkerbell flying over the hub, but I mean, I was like, whoa, okay, well, that's pretty, fireworks, Tinkerbell, the music. And the thing is, some people are going to, maybe this is a hot take, I don't know. Like, we were jammed in Magic Kingdom to watch those fireworks every time we saw them.
Yeah.
I mean, just like 2019, I mean, shoulder to shoulder from the castle all the way to Town Square, all the way down Main Street, packed. And you know what? I was just grinning from ear to ear because that's how things have to happen to get back to normal. I mean, and the thing was, I look back on all the discussions that we had over the past year and stuff, and it was like, oh, they could do fireworks. Everybody could stay on a dot, and then I was thinking, there's no way that could happen.
Not the number of people that were I've seen jammed in. No.
Somebody tried to plow through us at the fireworks like 9:15 at like 9:05 with like a scooter trying to get, we were trying to get from we were right by the, outer ring on Main Street there of the hub. And, they wanted to get up by the partner statue. Like, it wasn't happening, there was just no paths at that point. You had to take the path that was around by Crystal Palace. Yeah. But the thing, nobody's going to step on those dots. That's why they couldn't have fireworks. They couldn't have. I mean, there's no way, because people get so excited. I mean, people were just drawn in. But it was a return to normal. So I was excited for that. Of course, we didn't have to wear masks. That was incredible. I mean, it was just, we wore them on the buses and the Skyliner. When we were looking. Because the thing is, because the Skyliner, we kept our masks on the whole time if we were on a party with somebody other than us. We figured it's like you're on there with your family, dude, they, we play by the rules when they asked us to.
Yes.
Because that's their rules. But the thing is, like, just to be able to have a Coke Zero, in your cup, and you're walking World Showcase, and you don't have to wear a mask, and there's a return of some live entertainment, not a lot, but some is there. It's just, it felt like we're back. I mean, almost every attraction was open. There were very few that were down. I mean, I don't know. You've been monitoring all this. I mean, what are you feeling because you're going to be there here in the next
this weekend? This weekend. Yeah.
So you're gonna get your sense of it. But I mean, I'm telling you, one of the other things I told Pam that I'm excited for this, and this is so bizarre, right? People are gonna be like, Mike has lost his mind. We rode the bus a lot when we stayed at Pop Century to get around.
Yeah,
because we took Magical Express and stuff. And the thing is, man, they're back to, if there is a spot on the move back, I mean, you are in every seat in
all available space, right?
It's one of these where it was like, oh my gosh, my face is in this dude's armpit. I'm back as far as I can go, bus driver. And it was,
can't go anymore.
It was awesome because I didn't have to wait for 7 buses. I could get on in maybe 2. And it just, some people hate that. Steve Forrester will not ride a bus because of what I just said. I'm just like, it's 20 minutes, get me to my bed. I'd rather just, my face is in this dude's armpit. I just want to get to my bed. Let's roll. I can take it for 20 rather than wait an hour for a seat. It was normal. So I don't know. What did you see from afar? Because that was my quick take on why I think we're very close to being back, or we are back.
Yeah. I mean, I went right as they were starting to relax everything. So I think they were still requiring masks inside attractions and stuff like that, but they were not requiring them outside. So I still haven't done like the full experience with everything. I'll get that this weekend. But I definitely notice what you're talking about of, they are, it seems with every passing day, more and more things are getting reintroduced. You know, we've had restaurants come back open. You know, things like Trails End just reopened. Please bring back my fried chicken.
I had the fried chicken from Trails End,
but not,
by the way.
But not at Trails End. You had the PJs.
I don't care. It was. I ate fried chicken in Trails End.
Yeah.
And it was good.
But it was not what is being served right now. So I'm still mad.
It was Trails End fried chicken, baby.
They can bring back Ohana noodles. They can bring back my fried chicken. Anyway, so, you know, we see restaurants that are coming back, you know, like we have Casey's, the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor is a big one for me. You know, I mean, yes, I saw your pictures of the menu, that it is a different menu right now. You know, obviously they can't serve everything that they used to have, but
let me talk about that real quick. Why are you bringing that up? Okay, they had like sundaes and cones, and then a couple nights later they had that ice cream cookie sandwich with the 2 cookies and that rocks. By the way, it was like $6.79. Buy it. When I posted on Instagram, Mike Bankhead said, "Now you Disneyin'." That was his quote. I was like, "Yes, we are, buddy. Yes, we are." And we were watching fireworks with it melting all over my face. But I will say, because the Plaza reminded me of this, I want to jump this. I have so much to talk about. I know we got 40 minutes. We'll talk about this over the next couple of weeks as people, you know, as we get time. Yes. But the thing was, you can tell that the college program kids are just arriving, right? I mean, they're going to be filling a lot of spots, and thank God for them, because they need the labor force. But the thing is, man, what we saw time and time and time again, especially when it came to quick service dining locations and places like the Plaza, is that you saw, and this was, I mean, I don't know if Disney can help this, but like at the Plaza, it slammed right on the 7th. It was the day it opened. And, you know, every day since. The thing was, they have 2 registers in there, and 50,000 people want ice cream. Yes. And there's only 2 registers, and both people working the registers were earning their ears. And like they were trying to figure out how to use the cash register, which I get it. Everybody's got to be a rookie at some point. Everybody's got to learn. But, you know, like they couldn't find 2 people that know how to run the
cash register. Right?
It's like learning how to play football, like, you know, in the Super Bowl. Like, it's because they're trying to learn, and there's a line all the way to, you know, to Starbucks.
Exactly.
We saw that time again, though, the quick service places, lots of training going on with very few people with experience.
Which makes complete sense, and I think is still why we haven't seen a full resurgence back, especially with like counter service, you know, because everything's still for the most part mobile order. So I think, you know, as we try to, you know, rehire these college program kids back and get them trained and everything like that, I think we're going to start to see things like, you know, mobile order get relaxed a little bit, you know, just so that people can actually place the order while they're in the parks and stuff like that.
My wife hates mobile order. Like she says,
I can understand.
She says you should have the option, and I agree. And I think we'll get there.
Yes.
I understand that during the height of the pandemic, we had to have mobile order.
100%.
It was less contact. It was very, you know, it was very contactless. You just do this, grab your bag, and you're out. So I get it, but I mean, the thing is, again, that's mobile orders less labor intensive from Disney's point of view, and right now labor is at a premium, not only at Disney but across the country. So I get it, but she's right. The experience for the guests will be better when you have a choice. And, you know, if like I will mobile order because I'm a tech guy,
absolutely,
it's better for me when not everybody's mobile ordering because I can get my stuff quick.
I mean, Brian, I think because when we were there, you know, in May, we left him to go to the parks. He had to do some things around the hotel and stuff like that. And he couldn't get food because he didn't have mobile order on his phone. You know, like he didn't have the app. He didn't realize that he had a mobile order. So like he was out of luck because he couldn't do anything. So I think you're right. They need to at least go back to a little bit of like the combination of both. And I think that'll be better for everyone involved. But, you know, overall, I think that you're right. We're getting closer and closer to more normality. And that part's good. You know, it's just going to take some time. Now, really, I think we've established because of the labor, you know, that's really going to be the driving force behind how soon Disney can become even more normal at this point. So I really think that's the key ingredient that we're still kind of missing is, you know, getting the labor back up to, I mean, you know, maybe not where it was before, because it's going to take a long time for that, but closer to where it was. So, yeah.
And one thing I also noticed with that was a couple of times we mobile ordered. And so, you know, you hit your button when you're there, you know, like when you're walking up. I mean, you learn that You can kind of play with it, like the roulette kind of thing. Like I was starving for my Ronto wrap, so I hit it when I was, past
the
theater, right? Because I'd be there quick. The thing is, there were a couple times, especially at Cosmic Rays, where I hit it. I was actually in Tomorrowland. I hit it. I got there. I waited 30 minutes after the screen turned purple before I got my food, because the thing was, the line was so long when you got there. It said like go to bay 1, bay 2, or line 1, 2, 3 to pick up your mobile order. All of them were about 10 people deep, and they were struggling to get everybody their food. And so the thing was, like, by the time I got my food, it was 30 minutes later, the fries were cold. I mean, it was cold,
yeah.
Minor thing, but the thing is, there's still mobile orders. It probably works if you have folks working behind the counter that can quickly, churn the orders. But I think they're having, they're struggling. This again, it's a labor thing. They're learning how to find, this ticket with this order number and get people out, in and out. So, but it'll be fine. Kim brought up something here in the live chat. Kim Taylor, our good friend down there at Walt Disney World. Sorry I missed you. It was just a crazy nut house, and I'll be down in October, so we'll see you soon. Actually, in September. But the thing is, I thought the exact same thing. She just typed on the screen. There's no reason, a reason other than labor. Again, and somebody's asking about why don't we have Monsters Inc. or Monsters Laugh Floor? Why don't we have Nemo? Why don't we have Indiana Jones? I think it's the same thing, because it's a labor thing. Because the social distancing stuff's been, that's out the door at Walt Disney World, at least right now. I mean, if you've been there since in the last couple of weeks, everybody's on top of each other, and everybody, that going in at this point. Here's the thing, though. Those things, they do eat a lot of people, but the staffing for those attractions is huge. I mean, Finding Nemo has a lot of actors, a lot going on. So
a lot behind the scenes too that you don't have to think about.
It's a little technical crew. Same for Indiana Jones. I think that's going to be one of the last things to come. But yeah, those are people eaters. So that'd be nice because it would help spread out the crowds. But what Kim said in the thing was, if you can have fireworks, you can have full parades. I 100% agree. I know the character cavalcades are great, but after being there this time, I think it's time to, and I know that I was a huge fan of them, and I still, they should use them occasionally, but there's nothing like a true parade for those folks. And especially in this time where you really want to see the characters, you could knock out seeing 15 characters in a parade all at once. So bring back the parades. Festival of Fantasy, bring back a nighttime parade. Let's do it, Disney. There's no reason, because the thing is, as soon as a character cavalcade comes out, man, it looks like Spectrum Magic in 2015. It's crazy. Like, people are right there on the curb on top of each other.
It's true.
I mean,
I still prefer the cavalcades.
Yeah, for the fireworks, I mean, we stood shoulder to shoulder for an hour. I mean, so there's no reason not to have parades. But again, probably labor.
I still prefer the cavalcades. I think that they're a better option. I like the quickness of them. They happen every 15 minutes or so. So I know if I'm on Main Street, and chances are I'll be on Main Street for a little bit of time, browsing or whatever, there's a good chance I'm going to see one, maybe two cavalcades as I'm walking through Main Street USA, or, if I'm at Animal Kingdom with the flotillas or, whatever. Like, I really do like the cavalcades. I think that they work much better, but I understand the, desire from everyone else to have parades back. Again, I'm not a huge parade person in general. So for me, the cavalcades work, and that's why I like them much better. I understand though that, I'm not everybody, and a lot of people do like parades. So I get it. It's just, I think the cavalcades just work better. But I get your point of view for sure. So
the cavalcades work better for folks like us, I think, that, could take or leave. It's not going to make or break that you saw, Princess Tiana,
right.
I mean, the thing is, like, if Princess Tiana's in Festival of Fantasy.
Well, that's true. And that's kind of what Kim is.
Yeah, that's what she just said.
Is saying, when guests ask to see Mickey, it's difficult. That part I totally get, because there really is no like set time to see Mickey anywhere. I mean, you could see him in the cavalcade. You might see him on, waving from the train station, whatever. But those are really the only two spots that I've seen Mickey at, especially at the Magic Kingdom. So, and not having a set time for that, I do understand the frustration of that 100%. So I get that. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I want the parades back, but I mean, don't put away the cavalcades for sure. It's kind of it would be just, and I know they probably will put the cavalcades away once they get the parades back, because it's probably not going to be something that they want to have additional, but
at least maybe at the Magic Kingdom. I think they'll keep them at some of the other parks, though. Yeah. I do.
I mean, it's because we rope dropped a Regal Eagle with our Regal Beagle shirts, which was pretty awesome. Shout out, Scott.
Did anyone say anything to you about them?
Not at Regal Eagle, but lots of guests did. So
yeah, that's
worth the trip. But the thing is, like while we were, waiting for our order, like at 11:30 for like this huge barbecue lunch, I heard music start playing on the promenade. Like I was like, what's that all about? And then it was, like three princesses rolled by. I think it was like Cinderella, Snow White, and Tiana, like right there, past the American Pavilion. So that's cool. Like you wouldn't see that under normal circumstances. That was neat.
No. And that's the kind of thing
no one was in World Showcase at that time. It was 11:30, and like I felt bad. Like, so I went out waved, like, so that they weren't just like waving to nobody. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. I think that the Magic Kingdom maybe needs the parade, and then the others can keep the cavalcades. I think that would be a good happy medium, at least. So.
All right, so real quick, just some highlights from the trip, just because I know but I mean, those are kind of the general thoughts. And the thing is, I'm not being negative about the service, and the thing is, like I said, everybody's got to learn. And the good news is that with each passing day, these issues should get better. The food service should get out there quicker, and it should be more efficient. And again, it's kind of like a double bonus, because as these new cast members, whether they're college program or just somebody's working part-time, full-time, whatever, as these cast members start to get more experience, they're going to get more efficient at their roles, which is great. But at the same time, hopefully, crossing our fingers, we're moving to more normality with each day. So maybe mobile order won't be the only option in a month or 2 months or 5 months. Who knows? So I think that, we're trending definitely. And the thing is, I kept telling Scott, okay, so we were there on July 15th. This was our last day. And I said, think about this, Scott. 1 year ago,
yes,
parks reopened. Like, okay, I said, because we're both like geeks about this, right? I said, look around. I said, like July 14th, like 1 year and 1 day ago, we had 0 theme parks.
Yes.
And I said, look around, man. Like, it's back. I mean, the thing is, it was kind of weird, because in a way it took forever for us to get to this point. But in another way, it's like, God, I can't believe we're here already. I don't know which one it is for me, because I'm both.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. If you really think about everything that has happened in the past year and how the parks have come back in such a way, it really is amazing to think about, the fact that things have, while it feels slow, it also feels really fast too. Like I get, it's a weird dichotomy, like it feels super slow that things have happened, like we're just now getting all the rest of the value resorts and moderate resorts to come back online. But then it also feels like, whoa, it has only been a year since the parks officially reopened too. So yeah, I 100% understand where you're coming from. It's totally mind blowing that how far we've come in a year. So yeah,
because last spring we were doing those live call-in shows, community check-ins, every night, like, when that was happening, it's still like my brain couldn't process that every single Walt Disney World Resort hotel room was sitting empty. There were no families going back there, having Mickey bars, talking about what they're going to do the next day. There's no resort TV, in each room. That people.
R.I.P. Stacy. Sorry.
I mean, I saw the new show. It's fine. Yeah. And the thing is, it's practical for right now. The thing is, Stacy's show couldn't have happened over the last year because everything was outdated. Fast passes, nobody had on a mask. I get it. They couldn't show it. And the thing is, like, it's a practical show. It's very, again, I like to use the word efficient because I like efficiency I try to be very efficient in my jobs. As a teacher, I try to teach my kids to be efficient in their, studying and in their getting their work done. And the thing is that show, while it's entertaining, it's not as entertaining as Stacy. It doesn't have the heart of a Stacy show. It was a must do, but it gets you what you need to know to have a good vacation. And the thing is, it's just a voiceover person. That's so much easier to update at some point, because what it is, you roll in a voice person, you can update that very easily.
Absolutely.
And we're at a time where things are changing like at light speed.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. We're friends of Stacy, right? She came on our show.
Absolutely.
We love Stacy. Don't get me wrong.
Love Stacy. Yeah.
Fellow championship roller skater.
That's right. She is.
Yep. We both won in Lincoln, Nebraska at some point. That's the roller skating capital of the world, by the way. Lincoln, Nebraska. Shout out to my buddy Wade, who I play golf with, who's also from Lincoln. Anyway, so the resorts. Well, first of all, the hurricane bust, but it got me an extra day at Walt Disney World. So who cares? I went down day early and it didn't even happen. The worst that happened was it was our Pop Century Day. It was the 6th. That morning we woke up and there was like a thunderstorm. I mean, it wasn't even hardly windy. But the thing was, like, I could have ran outside that, because again, I'm a crazy runner. I got this streak going. And I thought, I brought my big like floppy hat. I have enough. I have a couple of spare running sneakers. I could get one soaked because I'll be fine. They'll dry out. And I was like, do I go out though and be the idiot that's running around Hourglass Lake in, what is kind of the outer bands of a hurricane? It was a little windy. I mean, kind of windy, and it was raining pretty good because I wanted to keep running. So I did not, because I didn't want to be that guy. Gotcha. But I did walk around. I think 48 or 52 laps around the building 1 at Pop Century up there 4. I just walked. I didn't run. I just walked. Okay. I did like 6.5 miles. So I did that. So if you ever need to get your steps in and you're at a value without a treadmill, just walk around the outside. It was kind of fun because I got to see the bands coming in, got to feel the humidity. I was like, I'm kind of in a hurricane or a tropical storm or something. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, so that was fun. Pop Century. Great. We love Pop Century because we were there for 2 days without tickets. That's awesome. I'm telling you what, do a couple days without tickets because you get to do some fun stuff and there's no pressure. Went to Disney Springs, hung out, ate, swam at the pools, bowling pin, hippity dippity, rode the Skyliner. It was a great way to start the trip. We got there, the afternoon of the 5th and didn't go into the parks till the 7th. We had a good time for 36 hours before we had to even worry about anything.
That's good. I'm glad that was enjoyable for you too. So that's good.
Building 150s worked out really, really well for us. Okay. Let's see here. So then we went over to Yacht Club. Okay. So this was kind of the predicament I was in. I was worried, right? We're doing a value. We're doing a deluxe.
Yeah.
Deal there on a rate. And then we went to a moderate because actually I won that as a prize, 4 nights at a moderate. So that's kind of cool. So the thing was, the reason I went deluxe to moderate at the end is because that was the only time I could take that stay. So I know we tell everybody's like, Mike always tells people, do the deluxe at the end. I know, right? I know. I never follow my own advice.
No, he does not.
But I mean, this time I couldn't because it was just the dates didn't work. But I'll tell you what, Yacht Club, we have to talk about how awesome Yacht Club is. It's great. I mean, you can walk to the studios. You can walk to Epcot, the Stormalong Bay. We swam in there. It was fun. Great room. I mean, we had I could see from my bed the flying jib slide in the Crescent Lake. It was great. I mean, there was also that little Ale and Compass Market.
Yeah.
And they have a good breakfast sandwich.
Whew. Yeah, I saw that breakfast sandwich. That looked good.
And they were selling Disney Cruise Line merchandise in their shop.
They were, yeah.
You can kind of find Disney Cruise Line stuff all over the place. I think that they had a ton of stuff they need to get rid of, and they just put them like wherever they can. So I got a couple of Disney Cruise Line shirts.
That's awesome.
Didn't go to cruise, but got a shirt.
That's awesome.
So that was great. Then we stayed at Caribbean Beach, and I'll tell you what, I was kind of worried about going to Caribbean Beach because again, standard view room. I didn't know if I'd be in a pirate room or not, which are kind of out in the boonies a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
The rooms themselves are kind of nice, but the beds are a little bit smaller, and they're out in Barbados. But it's close to the Skyliner station. I'll give you that. The thing is, though, we got Aruba, and it was just a standard room. But it was great because we were in the building 51, which is the Aruba building that's closest to Jamaica. So it's right by the bridge that cuts across. So we were across the bridge. Oh, man, it's awesome. Right across the bridge from Old Port Royal. Also, we split the difference between the Caribbean Beach Skyliner Station and the Riviera Skyliner Station. Good. I had breakfast 2 mornings in a row at the Riviera. I got the Madame Croque, that's ham sandwich with Swiss and the egg on top. Oh,
your favorite?
Oh, yes. 2 days in a row. My wife's like, you can't eat that every day, man. That'll kill you.
You run every day. You're fine.
I know. That's why I run. Yeah. Mobile order it, just walk over and grab it. It was great. It was 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the resorts were great. And the thing was, the girls said, because I was kind of worried, like, oh my gosh, we're going from Yacht Club to Caribbean Beach. They were fine with it, man. They were actually raving about Caribbean Beach, I think, more than any of the resorts because it had a ceiling fan. We're not easy. We're easy to please, right? We had a ceiling fan. Everybody was in heaven. But the Skyliner access. Again, my wife hadn't been on vacation to Walt Disney World since 2019, hadn't been on the Skyliner, hadn't been to Galaxy's Edge, none of that. And she just kept talking about, man, the Skyliner is great. And I'll tell you what, here's a great example of that. On our last day, and I'm not going sequentially, I'm just giving that up. We're already 30 minutes in. Our last day, we had the studio scheduled. And so, that last day, we usually do Magic Kingdom, but you got to really watch getting back so you don't miss your Magical Express bus. In the Magic Kingdom, you got to leave the park so early because you might say you're back in Fantasyland. You got to walk out of the park, walk to the bus stop. The bus might be 30 minutes before it gets there, 20 minutes to your hotel. Then you got to get your luggage from Bell Services. That could be another 15. So it's a lot of time. We did our last day at the studios, and I knew we could stay in the studios for like really close to our Magical Express time because we literally walked out of the studios 5 minutes on, you just walk onto the Skyliner midday, 5 minutes, you're back at Caribbean Beach, just walk to Bell Services, grab your bag. It was great.
That's good.
Do the studios or Epcot for your last day. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Real quick on that last day. Oh, well, let me just talk about rides because a lot of people are going to ask about that. So here's the thing: like we give people tips on how to get your Rise boarding group. First day we were at the studios. Nothing.
See, I told you.
Nothing. Oh my gosh. And I mean, I had everything. I was out in the middle. I was out by the lake. I wasn't in a building. I was on LTE. Yep. And the thing was, like, it gave me like it, I hit it, boom, join group. Okay. So I saw,
which I've gotten.
Before I could hit the button to join, like this little orange thing pops up.
Yes.
It's gone, buddy. I was like, shut up. It was 3 seconds.
That's how it has been for me. Yes. Okay. Now you understand my frustration. I'm glad you finally got to experience what I've experienced.
Right. It was So that day we went to the studio. Obviously, we're going to studios. So we went to the studios and we did the 1 o'clock thing, and we got group 134 or something like that. And the 1 o'clock second chance lottery is what I call it.
Yeah.
But the thing was, it was broken a lot that day. So it ended up like at 6:30 or so. It sent a push notification to My Disney Experience saying,
you're
not riding today. And so
that's
frustrating. But that night we did go to Big River Grill over at Boardwalk. That place is pretty solid. They had a great server there. Like she split our meals because we were just like, we ordered something. Like we ordered like the big old nacho platter and then a burger and fries. And we were, when we ordered it, we said, well, we'll kind of split it and pick at each other's, just so we can both have some nachos, both have a little bit of a burger. She brought it out like all split up for us, like half.
That's awesome. I love when waitstaff does that. Yeah,
that's awesome. And that place is awesome because you can't make ADRs.
No, you cannot. So if you're ever in need of a place to dine, Big River Grill at the Boardwalk is a fantastic option because you can literally just walk up and get seated. Well, you may have to wait a little bit, but that part's so fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's not much to look at inside, kind of plain. But the food was good. And
I mean, yeah, it's basic food, I'm sure, but it's at least an option for people who are looking for a table service meal when there's nothing, available. My Disney Experience. So
agreed. And Michael saying that he kind of soured on the Skyliners last trip, but it was down a lot. We had no issues with the Skyliner the whole time we were there. Like it was weather caused it to close. We had great weather. I mean, really, for the first few days, it wasn't even hot because of the hurricane kind of pushed some of the hot weather out. And I mean, we had no issues. We loved the Skyliner. I mean, I always have, but I mean, we had zero issues. I think it's kind of luck of the draw, with that. Oh, sorry, it is the button. And Scott was talking on Instagram. I did want to say, flying in, we got to fly over the shuttle landing facility so I got to talk Frontier because I have. This is why. Okay, I was cursing you. I hate Frontier.
Yes.
Hate is not a word. I will never, ever, ever fly Frontier again.
Okay, I get it.
Unless it's the only airline on Earth, and then I'll drive. I thought I was saving money, right? Because I was like, dude, it's $29 to Orlando. Your mom, I'm gonna find.
I know you can find her.
Flies like she must not wear any clothes when she goes on vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Sneakers, whatever. Dude, by the time I added, because remember, I'm applying with 3 women, or 2 girls and my wife and myself. I'm like, I'm an honorary woman because like everything I do in my life's with girls. Because like 2 podcasters, they're both women. I taught elementary school. Everybody's a woman. My wife, my whole family, women. So the thing is, by the time you add a carry-on and a checked bag for 10 days for 4 people, dude, I could have bought my Southwest ticket for the exact. It was within like $30.
I believe it.
Okay, so anyway, painful. Like they don't fly 737; they fly Airbuses.
Yes,
and those seats were smashed in the back. We were like in row 38. I was jammed in there for like 2.5 hours. And the thing is, like, there's no Wi-Fi, and I used to be scared to fly. I like to say that. I haven't now flown because I would have never gotten on Frontier. They don't serve alcohol, and I used to have to slam a couple margaritas before I got on a plane. I always had FlightAware like up so I could see what's our altitude. Okay, we're still going up. That's good news. Okay, we're coming down, but at least we're halfway there, so I know we got to come down at some point slowly to land. I had no telemetry because there's no Wi-Fi. I couldn't buy it. Couldn't do anything. They tried to sell me a MasterCard on board, like I was at some timeshare like sales. Or something. Going down, I'm coming back. I was like, I'm so glad I didn't buy that MasterCard because I'm never flying this airline again. They're trying to give away trips, like whatever. But the thing is, oh my gosh, like we can't. But the cool part was like, well, here's the thing. Going down, I'm like, man, we're over like water for a long time. I'm like, we're on Southwest. We are never over water, like for more than 5 minutes, maybe by Tampa. And I'm thinking, either we've been hijacked. And the thing I don't have Wi-Fi. I can't tell anybody.
You don't know where you are.
I can't look at a map, like I can't look at FlightAware, see, hey, where am I? the thing was like we were way over, and then so when we landed, so we were coming in, and like, so I'm just because I always get a window seat, and I constantly watching, and I'm like, God, and then Mallory had the window seat behind me because she never gets the window, but since we had assigned seats, I got her one, and so she's like, yeah, I see a boat down there, a big boat, and so I was looking down, yeah, there were some ships, and the thing was like we were going over the water, and then finally I could see the coast, so I told her, I'm like, okay. When we're over the water, I said, I'm going to know. We're either, because she was like, are we over the Atlantic or are we over the Gulf? I said, well, if we turn right, we're over the Atlantic. If we turn left, we're over the Gulf. Because I didn't know what we were over. We turned right real hard, so I knew we were over the Atlantic, and we came in over NASA. So we came in over Cocoa because they went around the big storm. It was kind of
gotcha.
But it was awesome because I got to see the shuttle landing strip, which was cool, the vehicle assembly buildings. That was great. But yeah, Frontier, no. I'm telling that gate. Have you ever been to that gate in NCO for Frontier? It's like gates 1 through 29. Dude, it was like every man for themselves in that. I don't know. The Southwest gate, I mean, I've seen it busy, but it's like under control. It's calm. Like there's no, it was every man for themselves on Thursday night in that gate. I mean, it was nuts. And then the thing was, like when we board, we had like priority boarding because we bought carry-ons for everybody. It's like you're in group 1 or zone 1 or whatever it's called. Everybody else zone 2 through 5, you got to get in the other line. Well, people were jumping in that were in zone 5. I paid extra, like, get out of the way. Oh, I am never doing that again. Sorry, Frontier. Never flying. Southwest, I apologize. Southwest Airlines, I will be back in September. Yes. I strayed and I paid. So I will not stray again, Southwest. I love you.
I know. I absolutely adore Southwest, and I'm with you. Like I will fly them, all the time if I can. It's my preferred airlines. I've flown other airlines, just because they don't fly to like places like Europe. So I can't go there. And up until recently, they didn't fly to Hawaii. They do now, and I'm flying them to Hawaii. So I'm just saying, like. Yes, Southwest is so much better, and I 100% agree with you. Just the fact that they don't nickel and dime you, and
they don't try to sell me a credit card, like when I'm captive.
You can at least carry on a bag, and you can take bags with you under the plane, which to me is so important. Like that part is important to me because. I'm sorry, but I can't fit everything in a carry-on. I have hair products and other products, and I can't I have to bring full-size bottles of that stuff. Like I have curly hair. This does not get tame with little bitty bottles and stuff. Yeah. So I have to bring full-size stuff, and I can't pack that in a traveling case. So I have to bring it under the plane. And the fact that they at least allow me to do that without charging me a fee is why I will fly them no matter what, because I'm not paying the fee to bring luggage with me. I'm sorry. It's not happening. I'm bringing luggage. So,
right. I mean, so anyway, just tangent. I had to get that. I feel better.
I'm so glad you feel better.
The whole time I'm on that plane, I'm like seething, right? And at the gate and everything, I'm like, I got a podcast. I want to talk about this. So
yes, exactly. So we did. We got there.
I'm just saying, if you get in that predicament, don't be a sucker like me.
No.
So, and it was all because of Ricky's mom. So I'm going to have a long talk with her.
Yes, please have a long talk with her. Yes.
Want to cause me to do this. Anyway, so it might work for her. It doesn't work for me. So back to the boarding groups. Okay, so first day didn't get it. Second day didn't get it again. And the thing was, like, I'm trying to get it. Scott's trying to get it. Elizabeth's trying to get. We're all, and none of us got. I mean, we know what we're doing. We've done this many times. It was very frustrating, right? I didn't really care.
Welcome to my world.
I want to ride Rise, right? I love Rise. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I've done it 3 times. The thing is, my wife has never been in Galaxy's Edge. She's never done it. I've talked it up. At this point, I'm like, it's not that big. It's kind of a boring ride, right? Because then I'm thinking, oh my God, we're not going to get it. Now built it up. It is awesome. And the thing is, like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to let my wife down. I started stressing. The last day we were there, Thursday, Scott got it for us.
Awesome.
We got boarding group 50. And I'm telling you what, Thursday was our departure day. It ended up being the best because, like, that last day you're trying to squeeze everything in. You got to catch a Magical Express. We had to get a Magical Express at 3:45 for like a 6:50 flight. But we went straight to the studios, rope dropped it. So my wife, the girls, Megan and Mallory went back. They wanted to do Rock and Roller Coaster. They took off when we arrived. Actually, what happened was Megan didn't have a boarding group. I went to guest services. They added her because she was not friends with Scott. It was kind of a long thing, but they fixed that quickly. So shout out to guest services, Hollywood Studios. They did the right thing. But my wife and I was starving because I didn't have anything to eat. So like I thought about this, like we're gonna ride Smuggler's Run because you haven't seen it. She had seen Galaxy's Edge at this point. We've been to the park twice. We just couldn't get on Rise, but we didn't do any of the attractions. So I was like, here's what we're gonna do. Me and you are gonna do Smuggler's Run. So you can go inside the Millennium Falcon. You got to at least do that. Like,
yeah.
Remember with Scott that one trip, it messed me up. I had a headache for 2 days.
Yes.
I hate it. I'm never doing. I had a headache for the first couple of days of the trip. Finally, I took some of my migraine medicine, prescription stuff. It went away, so I was good to go. And the thing is, I mobile ordered my Ronto wrap like when I got to the park. So I swung through, I ate my Ronto wrap in line for Smuggler's Run, had a big Coke Zero. I was living the best life, dude. It was a Thursday. I was eating a Ronto wrap under the Millennium Falcon, getting ready to ride with my wife. We get up there. We're both assigned to pilots.
Nice.
I was like, oh God, the pilot got me in trouble last time. That's how I got sick because I was up front. But the thing was, and I'm not bragging here, but my wife and I are pretty dang good Millennium Falcon pilots. Like when Mallory flew it, dude, we were hitting everything inside. The thing was bouncing off. We were all over. My wife and I pretty much avoided much of the stuff to hit.
That's good.
I got to do the light speed lever, which is every man's dream, right? I mean, she didn't care, so she was the left pilot, and we did a good job, and she really enjoyed that. But then we got to do Rise later in the day. We had a group 50, which was great. I know there's kind of, everybody gets excited, like if you get group 3 or group 1 or group 2, low group. The thing is, here, somebody mentioned this, somebody on Twitter, and I agree with this, that if you, and Scott and I talked about this on the trip, if you get a really low boarding group, that's great. You're going to do Rise right away. But I'd rather get something like, say, from like 30 to 50 or 60, because the thing is, then you can get to the park at rope drop, knock out like a Slinky Dog or a Mickey and Minnie or, a Smuggler's Run or Rock and Roll, whatever, some big headliners. You get like 2 or 3 in right as the park opens. And then you can kind of ease your way, like maybe have lunch and then catch your boarding group. That's what we did. It was perfect. But we got to do all of Galaxy's Edge, and she loved it. Rise, she thought was the most amazing thing ever. And she's not a huge Star Wars fan.
That's so good. I'm so glad that she enjoyed it. But I mean, your frustrations with Rise are my frustrations with Rise. And I'm glad you finally got to experience it. Because like I said, even those of us who are in the know, we try and we still get, out of luck. And so that's why I call it more of like a lottery, because you really don't know if you're going to get it or not. And that's why I've been saying, I hate to say it to people, but don't hold your hat on getting to ride Rise of the Resistance yet. It's still so much up in the air and luck of the draw, and you don't know. So, that's my biggest piece of advice for people, even though it's disappointing. At least you're going into it knowing that there's a distinct possibility you may not ride. And it's just because it really is extraordinarily difficult to get, a Rise boarding group pass.
We got a Rise boarding group every day. Like we got the 1 o'clock.
That's true.
No, the one time.
The 1 o'clock drop does help. I will admit that.
And the thing is, there's not as much competition, and it's more exciting because like the old days, like
it is.
We got that when I was on Sunset Boulevard, and you just saw people cheering. Now, the second time we got it, we were in ABC commissary having lunch, and like it was awesome because like you just heard people scream. It's crazy. Everybody's doing it. And the thing was, there was this couple next to us that had no idea what was going on, and so they're like, "Why is everybody screaming? Did somebody get engaged?" No.
No, they just got Rise boarding group.
But we got one at 1 o'clock both times. So the thing is, the first time it was just having a bad day, so we didn't get to our number 134. The second time we could have ridden it that night before the park closed because our group was called, but we had an ADR at Maria and Enzo's in Disney Springs with a bunch of friends, so we didn't want to.
Right.
We were meeting friends for dinner, so we were like in a pickle, right? Do we miss dinner with our friends to ride Rise, or do we go to dinner? So we went to dinner. It's one of those things, like it really does. The boarding group thing isn't perfect because it really does kind of screw with your whole day. It does. You don't know exactly when you're going to ride, but you don't want to miss it either.
No, 100%. That's exactly, again, another piece of my frustration. So I have a lot of frustrations with the virtual queue system, boarding pass, whatever. So, but it seems like that's what Disney wants to move forward towards, because, they're doing it at Disneyland now with, the Web Slingers attraction too. So I'm super worried about being able to experience that attraction when I head out to Disneyland, because
is that how you sling a web? I don't watch.
Yeah. So, I don't care about Rise when I go out there, but I will care about going and experiencing, Web Slingers, because it's new. I haven't experienced it. And so like, that will be the thing that I freak out about, and we'll be there for 2 days, but, and I will probably more than likely buy a park hopper just because it's so easy to park hop between those 2 parks. But, I mean, that's the fact that I have to rely on the fact that I can only get in experience the attraction if I get the virtual queue. There's no other way for me. And if it's as quick as, you know, Rise is at Walt Disney World, I'm out of luck if I, you know, so
right.
I get the frustration that everybody has, and I 100% understand it. So yeah,
we'll get there. I mean, most people do get to ride the ride. So I think it's an outlier if you don't, you know, with the 1 o'clock drop. You know, if you really have the desire. So I think, you know, don't stress too much, because now you got all my guests at the Magic Plus.
I know. I'm sorry. You have a really
good chance of getting on the attraction. It just might not be at 10 in the morning. It might be at 7:30 at night.
That's true. That's true. I mean, yes.
Okay. Here's a couple of things I gotta say. I wanted to mention Park Hopper. You said that Park Hopper is huge because that really opens you up to like the old days. You know, after 2 o'clock, we could just do whatever we wanted. Like that was the old days. Like, you want to go to Epcot? You want to go to studios? You want to do this? So yeah, that. If you can get the Park Hopper, especially if you're there for quite a while, because, you know, say you want to jump over and grab dinner at Epcot, you can, you know, it's cool. Yeah. It was great. Also, I want to say and I was going to tell you the story, met so many listeners on this trip. I mean, so many. And over the years, we've met a lot of listeners have come up to us. We're in the parks and said hello, and, you know, taking pictures and
like I was saying, it's so much easier to spot you though than it is someone like me, because you're so tall and you're noticeable, and I'm like so short, and nobody, you know, notices me until they're like right on top, and they're like, "Oh, hey, I like the podcast." Yeah.
But I mean, I don't wear Spaceship Earth dresses. You know, you do. So
that's true. I do wear some pretty fun dresses. I mean, I don't own the Spaceship Earth one, which makes me sad. I should have bought it, and I never did. But you know, I do own some other really cute ones, which I'm wearing one today, by the way.
There you go. I know. That's pretty cute. Okay, so here's the thing though. First of all, thank you to everybody who came up and said hello. I know like Jason's in the chat right now. I got to meet Jason and his son. I actually got to run a couple laps around Crescent Lake with Jason.
That's awesome.
Much faster than me, but he was kind. I try to keep up. You know, I try to be, you know, the thing is like when you're with a runner, you can tell like is more of a runner than you. You got to try to, you know, man up and like stay. So I did. But he was nice. He obviously didn't try to just drop me like a bad habit. So thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Got to meet his son too. His son's a great ball player. We talked a lot in the yacht club lobby. Just keep playing as long as you can. That's my advice. Enjoy every game. God, I wish I could go back and play ball again. That was so much fun. But just so many listeners came up and said, like, we were in line for Toy Story Mania on our last day, Thursday. The family behind us in line, they listened to the show. She's a middle school principal. We got talking about the show, about getting ready for school. I mean, one day, this is no kidding, I was leaving the studios. This is not the last day, but one of the other studios days. Like, it was getting ready to storm. So I'm like, we got to get back. If we're going to ride the Skyliner, it's going to get shut down. Like, I could see the storms coming in. So I'm like, we got to go. So we're like busting out of the studios. We meet a listener of the show, like right at that, you know, that right before you leave the studios, that little stand that has Mickey on the top. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Crossroads.
Yeah. Crossroads. There you go. So we made a listener there. So I'm like, that's so cool. So then we talk for a little bit, and then we, go out. Boom. Right as soon as we get out the touch points, meet another listener on the way. And they just moved to Florida from St. Louis. I hope you're having a good time. Hope you got you changing roles. So we talked about that and what it's like to be a cast member, to move from Missouri to Florida. It's awesome. Then as soon, so that was right outside the touch points. And before we got to because then by this point, the Skyliner is closed. We're running. So, and I didn't care. This was awesome, but it was just so funny that like in this little span, and then another listener comes up before we get to the bus. I just want to take a picture. I love it. I was like, dude, that was like at 100 yards. It was crazy. And it was so fun because the thing was like, this is where Mallory and Megan were just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Because, they're like 13-year-old girls, 13, 14. Like, I was like, oh my God, can I just get on the bus? And they were very kind. They didn't say that, but it was just, it was so great meeting the listeners. But I got to tell you this, I know we're long. I'll talk more about this stuff on Friday because Wednesday will be listener questions. But here's the thing. And we'll talk more news and stuff, what's happened, slipping on Friday too. It won't just be all about this stuff. I promise I'll sprinkle it in here and there. Because there were some other huge highlights from this trip I got to get to. We golfed. And by the way, Frozen Ever After, the musical, or the sing-along, dude, that is a great show. That is a sleeper, and it's not to be missed. We did it twice. It
Agreed. Sleeper.
So, gotta tell you, this story is hilarious. Maybe it's hilarious to me because I'm a dad, right? And I'm just like a dude that records a podcast in his basement. That's all it boils down to. Okay, so here's the final story, and it does relate to you. So we went into Epcot. What did we have for dinner that night? Because we were kind of full. It was with Scott and his family. I can't remember what we had for dinner that night. Maybe it was Sebastian. I think it was Sebastian's. And we'll talk about that on Friday.
Yes, we need to talk about Sebastian's
meal. Yes. That is a good meal. I mean, really good right now. But I'll talk more about that. Okay, so anyway, we go to Epcot. We're going to watch Epcot Forever. And we get in the park and by the way, Epcot's open until 10.
Yes. No, I love it.
Dude, I go to bed at 10. No, just kidding. But it was great. I go to bed at 10:30. And the fireworks are at 10. Dude, who stays up till 10 to see fireworks? What, trying to kill me?
This girl right here. This one.
On vacation, right? I'm a young buck.
Yes, of course.
Anyway, so we go in, we get there like 7:30 or 8. We're just kind of like, we'll do what we do. We'll just kind of walk World Showcase. Because again, no masks. You can grab a soda, grab a drink, whatever. It was like the old days. Great. It's summer, just enjoy it. So at 9 o'clock, we decide, okay, we got an hour to the fireworks. We need something sweet. It's how it is on Disney.
Yes.
So we're like, Scott's like, oh, Ricky talked about that gelato place in Italy. We're going to get gelato. So I'm like, yes, we are. And we're standing like in the UK at this point. So we all walk all the way down to Italy. It closes at 9. We get there at 9. Yeah, there's everybody's in there cleaning up. I mean, there's just fully staffed. Everybody's cleaning. The windows are closed. No gelato for this dude. So what do you do at that point? We want something like gelato. Ice cream. We're like, gotta have ice cream. Where do you get ice cream? World Showcase.
France.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So we went to whatever it's called. I can't say it. Glacés. Las Glacés.
Yes.
Like that. So we go getting in. There's a huge line, of course. Okay, so here's the funny story. This is probably just funny to me, so hang with me if you're a listener. It's you gotta give me 5 minutes. It cracked me up. Probably won't crack you up, but it would crack me up. So we're standing in this long line, right, for Las Glacés, almost back to like where you go in that little alley to get there. So we're standing there, it's my family, Scott's family. We're just talking, chit-chatting and stuff. So around the corner, Joe Fickus and his wife come around the corner. And so we're like, hey, Joe and his wife, we're talking about, all the races and all. Oh, yeah. Friday off, talk about I signed up for the Wine and Dine. I didn't think I was running Wine and Dine. I got caught up in the fever. Who knew you could sign up for 2 days later? I thought I had to, and Scott had to put on his Amex because I thought it would sell out in 30 seconds. Nope. I could have signed up for 2 days later. Anyway, Joe comes around. We talk about his trip, our trip, Run Disney, talk with his wife. We're talking like for 10 minutes. Then, of course, the line inches forward. He moves on. Then immediately after Joe moves on, one of my guests, John from the Magic for Less, who I helped book his trip. And so we've been talking for months and months about, our trips are going to be at the same time, both Saint Yacht Club. And so he comes up, he's like, oh man, I could never met you, but here he's there with the son, trip's going great. Thanks for letting me, thanks for helping me out with the trip. And so I was like, oh no, thank you. And all that stuff. Got talking about like what's going on with his trip, my trip. And so we talked for about 5 minutes. Then after John leaves, this gentleman who listens to the show, he was like 3 people in front of us in line, but he heard my voice talking.
Oh my gosh.
He comes out, I love the show. I just want to let you know. Blah, blah. So, okay. So this all happens within, like 15 minutes of standing in line. Okay. So now,
Yeah.
Which I loved. Here's the greatest part of the story. If you're a dad, like a 40-year-old something dad, this is the best. So the couple behind us in line, like they go to Pam, my wife. They just go, what's his story? They go, what's his story? And so she just goes, that's my husband. Like, that's all she said. I cracked up when she said that, right? Okay, so the dad has on like a Phillies hat. And you can tell they're from Philly. Like they have that like Philadelphia accent. I mean, I'm kind of stereotyping, but I mean, they seem like they're from the Northeast. Yeah. And so she'd had a couple drinks too. If she's listening, hey, it's World Showcase. That's what you do. No doubt. So the thing is, like, so what I tell her, I'm quick on my feet. I go, did you ever hear the St. Louis Blues?
No.
No. Oh, she's like, yeah, I know the Blues because she's a Flyers fan. I'm like, yeah, I played for the Blues in the 90s.
Stop.
So dad immediately, I think, is looking up her husband's like, I think looking me up on the internet. Like he's got his phone out and he's looking at me and stuff. And I think he was already trying to find, I don't know what he was doing. But the thing is that I'm like, no. I didn't play for the Blues. I played for the Cardinals. No.
Oh my gosh. You're the worst.
Then I'm like, no, I just do a Disney podcast and just happens, there's Disney fans down here. This is a weird coincidence that so many of us are all craving ice cream at the same time.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Weird thing. I got to give you that. But then we got talking about it, about because they had, they're big baseball fans. They've been to St. Louis to Busch Stadium and stuff. But it was so funny because she's like, what's his story? Like,
that's hysterical. Oh my gosh.
I tried to call it as a former NHL player. So it didn't work.
Didn't go over.
It was a great moment in my life. Like it made me feel like Justin Bieber for 15 seconds.
That's hysterical.
I should have that 15 seconds. It was
my gosh. By the way, Joe needs to stop it. He keeps taking pictures of him touching things like the honey wall, and it makes me want to throw up. So sorry, Joe, but no honey wall for me. I'm not touching touching the Honeywell.
I didn't touch Honeywell in 2019. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's a pandemic thing. I just don't touch it ever. Because
I don't touch it ever because it's gross and it makes me want to.
I also don't lick diapers. I mean, this isn't
exactly. Right? So him and the Positinos and all of them, like, stop touching the Honeywell. I can't handle it. No, step it.
Seems like restraints the word of the day when it comes to that. But anyway, I never felt uncomfortable at all this trip. It was awesome. So
that's good.
I know we're going super long. We'll get to some of the other stuff. We golfed. We, a lot of, like I said, Sebastian's was great. We did a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to get out there. I'll trickle it out there for you. But just here's the nuts and bolts to get you going on a Monday, hopefully. Super excited for the trip. It was awesome. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. That's Megan had a great time. People are asking, like, get Megan on the show. She might have said 50 words in 10 days. I mean, she is she smiled a lot. She laughed at my dad jokes a lot.
That's good. She
just didn't talk. I mean, she talked to Mallory. She's
of course. Just not to you.
Super quiet. Like, I mean, I'm surprised she didn't yell at me every morning when I come in for my run at like 7:50 because she's one of those kids that sleeps apparently till like 11 in the morning.
Yes.
So like I'd be busting in at 7:15 after my run, pull the blinds back. Let's go to the Magic Kingdom. She never cursed me out. Like, Mallory.
I mean, that's impressive. I'm sure Mallory would have.
I know, it's pretty hairy. But when you get to go with your family, it is the best. It is the best. I mean, I love Run Disney races and I love those weekends, but they're quick and they're there for a purpose. You're not really on vacation. This was vacation. It was just go have fun. Don't have to work for 10 days. Thanks again to, just to everybody that helped out with that. It was awesome, especially Kathy, but it was everything I wanted and more. And it felt normal. That's felt great. Like we're back. So kind of bringing it home. So we'll get to the other stuff. I promise you, but hopefully you have a few smiles. I did. It was fun talking about this, but Ricky, thanks for hanging with me on a Monday. That was great.
Absolutely. And for anyone who wants more Disney fun, you're going to get it this weekend from me. So make sure you're following along with all of our social because you're going to get more Disney fun. And I'm sorry, Universal as well, just a little bit. From my end of the spectrum. So yeah.
Let me give you a little hit, because you're kind of a social media person. I kind of try to be, not really am, but I try. Fit checks. They're very popular. So make sure.
Yes, I did.
Hat by Mizzou, shirt by Mizzou, Apple Watch by Apple. No, just kidding. But people like those. I didn't know there were things. I learned that from two, teen girls.
I did see your fit checks. I don't know if I will be doing them, but I mean, I'm sure that that people would enjoy seeing where I get my clothes because I do get actually I get a lot of questions about where'd you get your dresses. So
Old Navy every time.
No, well, most of my daily dresses are Old Navy, but my Disney ones are not. So.
Pretty much that's what I wear. Mizzou. I got like 3 sections in my closet. I got Mizzou stuff, I got Disney stuff, and I got running stuff. That's pretty much it since I work from home. And my shorts only, or unless they're running shorts or Nike. Anyway, so who cares? All right, so gonna get out of here. Don't forget, we're gonna be together on Wednesday with listener questions. Friday, we'll have a topic to talk about. I'll get to some more of this stuff as well on Friday. I just want to ask you real quick, if you're enjoying the shows, drop by Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and a review. That would really help us out. Again, we're a 13-year-old podcast. Mm-hmm. We're as old as, if the podcast could tell us advice, it would tell us to do fit checks because it's like a 13-year-old girl. So I'm saying some of these ratings and reviews kind of expire after maybe a decade. So if you wouldn't mind dropping us maybe a 5-star review, it'd be great. Whatever you like, but a rating and a review would be awesome on Apple Podcasts. Only takes a couple minutes. I'd sure appreciate that. Ricky Wood, Pam Wood, Scott Wood as well. So that'd be great. Also join us on Wednesday and Friday. We record those shows on Mondays around 5:45 Eastern. Join us on Facebook and YouTube. Get in on the fun. We love interacting with our listeners like we did today. Mm-hmm. The Magic for Less brings you all this good stuff every show. So drop by themagicforless.com when it comes time to plan your next Disney vacation. If you're there and you see, some information there that looks like it's going to help you plan a trip, fill out the quote form. It's real simple. Just ask for some basic information. And there's a spot where it says, where'd you hear about us? Well, of course you heard about us on the Be Our Guest podcast. If you put that, I'll give you a little secret. It comes to me because that's how I do my work. So if you mention the Be Our Guest podcast, you and I can plan a trip together. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just there, and I'll be there a bunch of times here because I'm hopefully doing a lot of races. So I'll be there for quite a few times, but I'll help you out with that. So again, themagicforless.com, mentioned the show. We'll be working on that next trip. Also, Amazon.com/Be Our Guest podcast. When you shop online, no matter what you need, battery packs are awesome. Get those And that does help us every time you shop online. Doesn't matter if you're buying a pillow or some sneakers, whatever. Amazon.com. No, that's not even the right address. I'm doing this for, it's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Don't go to the other one. That's not right.
That's right.
beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. When you shop online, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just bought one of those like awesome like neck fan things that you wear. I totally went all in on that.
You did not. No, you
I
did.
I bought one for this next trip. I was like, I'm gonna be the nerd that wears the neck fan, and I don't care. Like, I'm totally gonna go all in.
You're gonna be cool.
I will be cool with my nerdy neck fan.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Also, a huge shout out to our patrons. I hope you enjoyed the quick Mike in the Midwest that was dropped this past Friday. I gave some kind of the nutshell of what today's show was, but I expanded a lot on today's show. But thank you for your support over on Patreon. You allow us to put out these 3 or 4 shows a week, and I couldn't do it without your support. It starts at $5 a month. You get some extra content. You get the Discord server for our patrons. If you want more information on that, visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Also, this Sunday night, even though Scott's still down at Walt Disney World, Pam is still down at Walt Disney World. Maybe Ricky will join us if she has time, maybe not, but we always have that Sunday night. You, me, and Scotty G a lot of times, but hey, who knows who it'll be, but I'll be there. So this Sunday night, join us 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central for an hour of your calls and the Disney news of the week. We enjoy doing that. So that's on Facebook and YouTube. So join us and give us a call. You can come on the show right away. We'll talk Disney. I can answer any questions you might have. If you have a trip coming up, and a lot of folks do, we can do that on Sunday nights. So join us for that. Instagram and Twitter at @BeOurGuestMike. You can see all my pictures from the trip. They're there, even the fit checks. And of course, Ricky's at Ricky Nibs. She'll be there this weekend. Follow along there. Of course, at @BeOurGuestPod for all the great information on Twitter and Instagram as well. And Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe. You'll know when we go live. All right. We got over an hour. That's crazy. That's nuts. We got
a lot of us. We got to go.
Yeah. We'll be back on Wednesday with more of your listener questions. So for Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Monday. Time to get back to work. And we'll see you real soon. Woohoo. That was good.
We knew it would be a long one. I knew.
I thought it'd be 40 minutes.
I knew it would be long. You just got back. We have a lot to talk about.
We didn't even talk about much.
That's okay. It's the 2 of us. We can talk about anything. So
we just proved it. All right, I'm gonna edit this bad boy and go get some dinner.
All right, my husband's still not back. He's still at Walmart.
He needs to live stream that stuff. It's like I miss live PD, and that's about as close as you can get to it.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why he's at Walmart. I literally don't know what he's doing. I would have thought he would have been back. We're gonna go get pizza, so I would have thought he'd been back by now.
Our Happy Joe's opens on August 1st. It's supposed to open on July 1st, but it didn't.
Oh, we have this good little New York joint that they used to do trivia, and that's how we found them. But I mean, they haven't done trivia obviously since COVID. And he's like, maybe they'll do trivia tonight, and I'm like, I don't think they're doing trivia anymore. I think they just stopped that with COVID with everything. So I guess we're gonna go see if they have trivia tonight. So we usually win trivia too when we go. So it's kind of funny.
Just general trivia, or is it like?
Yeah, it's like general trivia. Yeah, it's not like specific about any certain topic. So it's just general. So, but they do this thing at the end where you wager like how many points do you want to?
Oh no!
And so you have to try to strategize and just like guess and go, and so we always wager the most number of points, and then we just
I want to be
I don't
want to be gambling on my points. I just want to know I'm the smartest guy in the room. That's all I want.
No, we get it at the end usually. Yeah. So, but it's a good time. But we'll see.
Right,
I don't know.
All right, so Monday normal time, right?
Yes, I should. Yeah, I have to. I'll have to let Daisy out as soon as I get home. So I'll be a couple minutes after 5:30 probably, but I'll be there. So
all right, just let me know. All right, we'll see everybody then.